And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin'. This is episode number 71, and unfortunately, this week we do not have Lunatic Oblivion. He's not feeling well due to just like maybe a sickness, change of weather. But I am joined by a returning guest Scott, aka Scobeywan. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good, man. Welcome back to the show. It's been a few months since you've been on,
Good to be
so
back. Yeah, it's been a hot minute for sure. Good to be back.
yes, sir. So we'll just get right into it here. We're gonna talk about a little bit what we've been playing this week. We got a couple lists here, and first off, man, I see you've been playing some Modern Warfare 2. Obviously, we just talked a little bit about that a little bit ago. But what have you been playing on Modern Warfare 2? How's that been going?
I've I've been having a blast. It definitely was painful to get back into it at first, just with some of the issues that were happening.
Yeah,
But other than that, enjoying it, loving the map. Uh, still some things to buff out on the finish for them, but so far, I think coming out of the gate, top notch. I mean, every game's gonna have its issues, but other than that, I'm enjoying it more than I'd care to admit.
yeah,
Just because it's fun, it's feeling nostalgic. You see all
yeah.
of the old maps, everything like that, which I'm sure we're gonna get into later. But it's been great. It's been awesome.
No, yeah, definitely agree. This has just been returning to Call of Duty fun, I would like to say, because both Vanguard and Black Ops Cold War were pretty trash in my eyes, and just I couldn't enjoy it, couldn't get into it.
Yeah, they were not that. It takes a lot for a game to be bad enough to where zombies can't fix it.
Right, exactly. I mean,
Absolutely.
zombies on Cold War was a lot of fun. I know me and Lunatic Oblivion, we played through the Easter
Yeah.
eggs on all of the maps there, and that was fun. But for Vanguard zombies, we didn't even touch it because it was just that bad. It looked bad. I was just like, and it just it blew my mind because Vanguard was a Sledgehammer game, but they had Treyarch come in and like, hey, can you make a zombies mode for us? And Treyarch didn't get like their full 3 year cycle into that kind of stuff, so you could tell it was
Yeah,
rushed.
and reaching out and grabbing and just be like, hey, we need just picking a team up and just throwing them in, do this, like not historically not awesome.
No, yeah, for sure. But other thing here that I've been playing recently is obviously a Plague Tale Requiem. I'm currently streaming that Wednesday through Friday. I did stream it yesterday just because I had some free time, but I think I got about 3 more streams left. I think of 7 more levels or something like that. So I'm almost done with the game, but it's been a lot of fun. It's really dark. The story goes up and down, like you're on an emotional roller coaster the whole time. And basically, the premise, without spoiling anything, is you play as Amicia, and her little brother has this sickness that you're trying to find a cure for, and he's the one that can manipulate and control the rats, aka the plague. So you really are trying to figure out what's going on and how can we fix this and make sure it goes away because they thought it went away after the first game and it clearly didn't, and it's only getting worse. So that's been a lot of fun. But I see here on your list here you've been playing. You're back to playing some Skyrim. How's that been playing?
Uh, Excellent as always. It's my yearly trip back. I do it once it starts getting colder out. I feel like I need to hop my ass in Skyrim and play out a little bit. That's like my go-to, especially right around the November time frame when it dropped back
Yeah,
in 11 years ago, 11
yeah.
11 11. I mean, every November I'm just nostalgic for it. I want to play it again, and every
Hmm.
year it just no matter what I do, it's still the same great game that it has been. So, it treats me well.
Yeah, that's good. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have Starfield coming out on 11/11/22 this year, and that did not happen due to some delays. Are you looking forward to Starfield? Because that's basically going to be like Skyrim except in space.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I want to see what they're doing with it, but I mean, as always, if there's one thing Bethesda can do, it's put off a game
Yeah.
for for an extended amount of time. No, it's looked great. I've been wanting to play it. I hope that the dynamic is the same. I hope that the mechanics are at least, if the mechanics are and rhyme
Hmm.
at all with what they've been doing with any of the Elder Scrolls games, then I think it's going to be outstanding. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Bethesda did say that they could have released the game this year, but given the fact that it's being basically published by Xbox now, and they
yeah,
don't want Xbox to have another one of those like faulty launches, like Halo did, Halo Infinite did. They want to make sure that this comes out with everything clean and clear and ready to go, and just have all the content ready to go as well, because you
yeah,
definitely
for
don't want
sure.
another one.
And I think that's safe. That's safe for them to do because especially with a huge name like Halo
Hmm.
coming out and then just dropping like that. I mean, yeah, that's a safe bet to make sure that everything their ducks are all in a row
Right,
before they throw that out as a launch for an
right.
Xbox
Yeah,
launch.
because when Halo dropped, the campaign was great. The multiplayer was fun. It was just there was no more content after that. They didn't have no seasons that were put together right away. There was no new maps, new game modes. The battle pass was pretty shitty, to be honest with you. But Bethesda did say that, hey, we're used to releasing our games in pretty bad states, more or less, but we just fix them as they go because they are games that are played for a long time, so they're not really
Oh yeah.
worried about it up front. But now that they're owned by Xbox, they want to make sure that they're shipping the best possible quality content.
Yeah, and especially you want to worry about longevity and things like that, which I think Bethesda really does
Hmm.
well. But you're not gonna have to worry about longevity if nobody wants to play it past 2 weeks.
Right.
So
Yeah, that was my thing.
I,
I played through Halo, beat the story mode, played a little bit of multiplayer with some friends, and then it kind of went on the back burner. I haven't really touched it since, and there was never a reason to go back to it. I mean, the new Winter update I want to check back out because they added Forge and the co-op campaign, which me and Lunatic plan to play on
Forge did a
Legendary.
lot for it.
Yeah, so I want to
Yeah.
hop back in. It's just there's so much out right now that I just can't. Because speaking of another game that I checked out that everyone's been playing a lot lately is Vampire Survivor. I don't know if you've checked this game out, but this is like
Not.
a
I've heard I've heard so many good things, and I've just not had the time to do it. Now, granted, I know that I just said that I'm replaying
yeah.
Skyrim for the eighth time, but that's something I know that I can pause and I can just kind of
Hmm.
leave go. But like I've heard so many good things about this game, and I just haven't gotten a chance to sit down and really dig into it yet.
Right, and this game it has like an old school aesthetic. Like it has like it's very pixelated, and it looks like a game I used to play on like a Game Boy or something like that. And it's kind of like endless rounds, and you just kind of keep going until you die. And it just gets harder and harder as you level up. And you collect XP and new weapons and upgrading the weapons and whatnot. But basically, like there's different stages you can progress through, but they don't tell you how to progress to the next stage. You kind of have to figure it out. There's some tips and like hidden things here and there that you can figure out that lead to understanding how to progress to the next part. And then there is a final boss that you can apparently get to as well. So this is a game that I literally have been playing casually, and you just kind of turn your mind off and just run around and just fuck shit up.
Yeah, which is great, and I love the fact that it's not just handed to you.
Yeah,
Like, oh, here's go here, go here, go here, done, next level.
yeah,
I'm a big fan of like you actually have to like look and see what you want to look at and try to figure out, see what you got to do to get to the next level, which is just I think that's kind of like an art lost in some of
yeah.
these games that we've been seeing over the past couple years, where it actually like drives you to look into the game, look at what you're doing, and
Hmm.
see where what you got to do to get to that next level.
Did you ever play the
So,
game Tunic?
for a very very brief
Yeah,
time.
well, that's another game that kind of doesn't give you any idea what to do, and you're
Yeah.
collecting the game manual in the game, and it gives you like piece by piece of explaining what you're doing in the game. So that
Yep.
was an interesting take on that. But I do see here on your list though, you have been playing some World of Warcraft Classic, and you returned to Wrath of the Lich King. That was probably the last expansion I played, and that's when I dropped out of World of Warcraft. I think I got to like level 77. I was just like, I'm done. I just can't play this game anymore. But how's it been going for you returning back to this?
Uh, Great. It's everything you remember, including all the bugs.
Yeah.
For sure. No, it's good. It's very very nice to just I casually do that during the day. Um, if I'm at work, nobody heard that. But if I'm in between doing things for work and I gotta maybe level up my lock picking, like things like that. Yeah, I'm on it. But it's it's exactly how I remember it, which I think once again it's what they're going for anyway.
Yeah, it's a nostalgia
Um,
thing.
yeah, and they sold it to us. The prepackaged and sold it to us
Yeah.
again. Which I mean, kudos to Blizzard because man, I paid it back then. I'll pay it again.
Right.
Um, no, it's been great. It's been nostalgic. It's been just kind of like a nice, relaxing. Like, I'm going through an orc rogue. I'm going through like a troll hunter. Like,
Mhm.
I'm just doing these things that I used to do way back in the day, back
Yeah.
when I was, you know, not much shorter, but still shorter, Scott, and got to do those things for the first time. And I
Hmm.
always feel like I'm doing it for the first time again,
Yeah.
which is still nice.
Yeah,
So it's been
I remember when I played Wrath of the Lich King, I didn't even have a gaming PC. It was like my mom's old school Dell PC or something like that. It was able to run on it on like the square monitors and stuff like that. I was just
great.
like, I
I
don't even
was
know how I did it.
yeah, I was on an e machine
Oh yeah.
at
Okay.
first, and then I had my laptop for college. Couldn't run it, but if I set it on top of my air conditioner for my bedroom, where the cold air was just going instead of into the room, just right into the laptop, that's when it ran really smooth.
Damn.
And now it's just we're looking back at it and we're like, man, I can't believe we ever had any issues
Running this
playing
game,
this
yeah.
game.
Because it's definitely not it's not much of a demanding. It's just a matter of how much is rendered at one time and how
Oh
many
yeah,
people or assets are there. So I could see that. But last but not least, here both of us have been playing this here is Warzone 2. I've been playing a little bit here and there with Lunatic Oblivion or some guys from Shoot to Win, and it's different playing it for sure. I don't know if I want to play it all the time. It's just not my forte. I think I'm kind of almost burnt out from battle royales. I just don't think it's just me. I think I'm kind of over it. But how's it been playing for you?
it's been playing great. I think they should have left Player Unknown's Battleground to go be Player Unknown's Battleground. Uh, with this, they tried doing a lot of things differently, which is good if you're doing things that haven't been done before.
Right.
I mean, it seems like they so for a while Warzone was Call of Duty on a mass scale,
Yeah, pretty much.
and it was like you had all of your battle royales, everything like that, and Warzone was there. But Warzone was still a little bit different because you had all of the Call of Duty mechanics,
Mhm.
everything going to it. So it was taking your multiplayer game and shoving it into a massive map with 150 other players,
Mhm.
with the same mechanics, and I feel like a lot of that was pulled really back, for sake of just I don't know if they wanted to do something different,
Right.
anything like that. Where it's like now you have your backpacks, you have your loot mechanics, your how much can you hold,
Mhm.
things like that, which once again are not bad. I just think that they didn't belong with
Call
the
of
Call
Duty.
of Duty
Right.
because the Call of Duty was that was the mindless root 'em, toot 'em, shoot 'em. That was it.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it's nice to add some extra mechanics there, like you got your kill streaks now, it's a little bit more stuff like that. Um, but I think that kind of took away from the just hot drop, shoot, see what you got sort of deal. It definitely reminded me a lot of PUBG
Mhm.
that I used to play years ago. I
Right.
used to
Right.
play a long time ago. They brought the third person into it just because that's gonna bring in that extra player base who deals in specifically only third person
Right.
shooters.
Fortnite.
Other than like Fortnite, your
Yeah,
PUBG, like
PUBG.
your things
Yeah.
like that. And I keep going back to the PUBG because it has such a PUBG feel to it.
Yeah, it does.
Um, the fuel, which it isn't a big deal because you don't really have to travel that far anyway, unless you're just kind of scooting around the map.
Right.
Uh,
Well, they
but
prevent those
other than
people that are in vehicles all the entire game, just trying to survive and run over people the entire game. You just can't do that anymore.
no, you can't, which is good, which is great. I mean, that's definitely going to help, like especially in the solo circles where people would like take the trucks and just run around, or people would take their ATVs and just run around the whole time.
Right.
Um, Other than that, that's more of like personal issues, not actual game issues.
Right.
That's just how I felt like with playing it. Other than that, it's been great.
Mhm.
There's some things that they still need to work on. Um, Showing money to you and team players, showing plates to you and team players,
Mhm.
things like that. There's been times where I've thrown a recon drone, and if anybody has seen my Twitter, like Call of Duty is great if you love issues that happened back in like October of 2020,
Right.
and then now they're back
Right.
because they had the recon drone glitch where you would throw up the recon drone, it wouldn't move. You couldn't do anything, and then the minute it was gone, you also couldn't move and do anything.
Oh, okay.
They fixed that, but still, like they're trying to work out those kinks. I'm a little jaded that those kinks came back 2 years after the fact.
Right.
So it's like they took the core of that coding and just put
Brought
it
it over.
over
Yeah.
and didn't take care of the things that were issues, 2 years ago.
Right.
Other than that, great. The map looks great. It looks smooth. It plays smooth for me usually.
Usually.
There's the big usually because every once in a while you'll hit that like game that just like it does nothing but stutter step. Um, but those things aside, I think it's been doing real well.
For sure. Yeah, I'm eager to see what content they add to it, other game modes, or hopefully smaller maps like Rebirth Island returning. I think would be phenomenal because when I started playing that, like that changed the idea of like a battle royale to like a much more fast-paced Call of Duty style
Oh
battle
yeah.
royale. So that was
Oh
something
yeah.
I really fell in love with after a while there. So hopefully we can get something like that in return. But enough of what we've been playing. Let's talk about the upcoming releases. There's a decent amount coming out this week. We'll start off here with Divine Knockout coming to the PS4 and 5, Xbox Series S and X, Xbox One, and PC on the 6th. Then we got Hello Neighbor 2 coming to all of those platforms as well, also on December 6th. Sky Children of the Light, PS4 and PS5 on December 6th. Then we got Chained Echoes coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, S, and X, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 8th. And I believe that game is also coming to Game Pass, which we'll talk about later. Crossfire Legion is coming to the PC on December 8th. Then we got Choo Choo Charles coming to the PC on the 9th. And we got Dragon Quest Treasures coming to the Switch on the 9th. Do any of these games here got you hyped or anything you're looking forward
So
to?
the two that have me definitely wanting to just step out and just automatically play them is gonna be Dragon Quest Treasures.
Mm-hmm.
And then Choo Choo Charles. 100% Choo Choo Charles. It looks creepy. It looks fun. It looks like one of those games that's just gonna have you like
Oh, yeah.
just sweating the whole time.
Yeah, that I remember that one.
Crossfire looks great. I think Crossfire is gonna be awesome as well. The other ones I haven't had too much time to look into. As far as like going in, Chained Echoes looked really good. I'm a big fan of the 2D RPGs
Mm-hmm.
that happen. I think that's still a very big, not a lost art per se, but like it's just something nostalgic about it, but still new. And I think it's gonna be a good one. It's one of those like better looking or better operating Link to the Past
Right.
kind of deals, which I think is gonna be pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Chained Echoes looks pretty cool. It's another just JRPG, which will do I think really well. Crossfire Legion, if it's anything like the other Crossfire games, it could be hit or misses. So hopefully that turns out to be good. Choo Choo Charles looks interesting because that reminds me of like the Skyrim mods that or whatever other
Yeah,
mods they
it
were
just
replacing
looks yeah
Thomas with the bad guys or from Resident
yeah
Evil. So that has that
yup.
creepy aesthetic. So that'll be interesting to check out. Divine Knockout looks pretty interesting. It's like a third-person platform fighter, so you become these like small mighty gods, I guess. So it's kind of like multiverses, I guess, or like Smash, in a way. So it's just one of those kind of clones. But Hello Neighbor 2 is going to be very interesting. It's being made, developed, and published by Tiny Build. And this one here is because like there are some of the most advanced AIs. So like each time you play through it, the AI learns how you played the past times, and they kind of adapt to your playstyle. So that you also have to keep the AIs on edge as well. So you have to change up your playstyles. So it's a really interesting take on that. So that'll be a game
Yeah,
that there's going to be a
that's
lot of focus
definitely
over.
that's definitely more interesting than a lot of other stuff that has been coming out. Like
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, because I remember the first one kind of pushing the boundaries with the AI, like how it was kind of having that like adaptive AI learning. So
Yeah.
that would be pretty cool. But overall, I don't think we got too big of releases this week. Just a couple of ones here and there that I don't think are going to stand out for Game of the Year next year, which we'll talk about Game of the Year this year. But let's move on here to our industry news. Not much going on. Just a couple quick hits. First off, we got DC. James Gunn did confirm that they will be making games connected to the film universe, and this is cool. I mean, they're kind of just trying to get on the same page as what the MCU is doing with all of their games and movies and stuff like that. Are you much of a DC fan?
So I think at least they have something for continuity
Yeah.
with the games. I've DC. I like DC Comics. I like a lot of the storylines. I think that at its core, a lot of the DC storylines are even a little bit better and more well rounded than a lot of the Marvel. But Marvel's got that. They've been doing the MCU for what? Oh man,
Fucking
almost
15
almost
years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then uh, they've had such a huge success with it, and DC has, to me, continually dropped the ball with the DCU, uh,
Mhm.
at least as far as feature films go.
Right.
Uh, with the shows have been outstanding.
Right.
Uh, I mean, Grant Gustin is my Flash. He was fantastic the whole time. The way that they handled a lot of the smaller scale TV shows have been fantastic. But I think that the actual feature film portion of that has always been kind of lacking. So at
Right.
least, like I was joking, at least the games will have some continuity.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
I
So
think they got close, and then the Flash decided to, not be that awesome.
yeah. So we'll see how they recast Flash for sure. But I'm not much of a DC fan, honestly. I don't really know much about it, other than obviously outside of Batman and Superman, and I guess now Aquaman at that point. But I recently went to go see Black Adam in theaters when that dropped, and that was actually a really good movie. And spoiler alert here, might want to tune away if you have not seen it real quick. But at the post
Give
credit
you a
scene,
quick 2 second pause,
yeah,
and then
the
there it is.
the post credit scene with Henry Cavill returning as Superman
Mm.
was just French kiss or chef's kiss, and I was just like, man, that was perfect because I guess DC
Freudian
didn't
slip
want to bring
there.
him back.
You see Henry Cavill, and you just think French kiss, because like
Yeah.
same,
Yeah.
you're good.
But it was cool to see him return. I guess that was a lot of work done by The Rock. He put in a lot of work to make sure
He
he
did.
returns.
He was petitioning for that movie for the longest time. I think upwards of like 7 or 8, 10 years, something
Yeah.
like that.
Well,
He was pushing real hard, and I'm glad to see that it's been a
mhm.
success like that.
Yeah, so basically, when the Shazam movie came out, that movie was supposed to have him in it as Black Adam, but then they wouldn't be able to tell two origin stories within one movie, so then they split them up into their own individual movies. And apparently, the idea is that they're going to come together in some movie in the future. But it's pretty cool to see the new rebooted up DC verse that they got kind of going on here. And
Yeah, I want to see something that isn't Batman.
right, right,
We have too many Batmans.
yeah, no doubt.
Uh, and then seeing Shazam, um, Zach. Oh man, now for some reason I can't think of his last name.
Who play
Um,
that plays
the
Shazam?
Yeah, that plays Shazam. I was a huge. I can't say I was a huge fan. I forgot his last name. Loved him in Chuck, which was an older show, ran for like 5 seasons.
You're talking about
Uh,
Zachary Levy?
Zachary Levi.
Levi, yeah.
Yeah, that Zachary Levi. Yeah. So watching him come out as Shazam, and then I want something that isn't just your main core, like of your DC Justice League
Well,
heroes. I
did you
mean, Shazam
see?
is there, but he's starting to stem off. And like watching that, Black Adam, things like that, that's gonna pave the way for things like Martian Manhunter.
Hmm.
That's gonna pave the way for so much other stuff that I can't wait for, because the rest has kind of just been failed because they've just juggled it so many times.
Right. Did you see DC's recent announcement? I think it was yesterday or today, maybe. It was they announced their new movie coming out. I think next year. It's called Blue Beetle. So
Oh,
they're
I did see. Yeah, I did see about the Blue Beetle. Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
So that one would be pretty cool. And I was just when I was looking up Shazam's the character. I guess there's a new Shazam movie coming out next year, actually in 2023, called Fury of the Gods. So maybe we'll see Black
Nice.
Adam appear. Maybe.
You know what? I hope that'd be great to get something that, because at this point in the game, as far as like the movie game is, like they're late. They're really late to the crossover game.
Right.
So they got to get something that's gonna pull in the DC fans, the people that have been wanting to see other heroes, uh, to kind of come in. I mean, if they can, if they get Black Adam in there, they get a couple other people in there, that's gonna be great.
Yeah, maybe even Superman comes in there,
Hey,
especially
you
with
know
the
what?
end of Black Adam. It just makes sense.
I would love to see Superman in there, but I already know that comes at the cost of The Witcher,
Yeah,
so it kind of hurts a little bit.
yeah. I mean, but then again, they did find a new actor for The Witcher, so they got rid of unfortunately Henry Cavill.
Yeah, they got Liam Hemsworth, but like at that point, I mean, even Andrei Shapowski was like, "Yo, you're kind of the perfect Geralt," and then he just went off and he's leaving to go do Superman. I'm like, that hurts my soul
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah, we'll see how that plays out though. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. But game wise though, for DC, I'd be curious to see who they go first. Like make a game. Obviously, like they have the Gotham Knights game already that's doing fairly well. And then they got Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League coming out next year. So they got those two big games. But who's gonna have like that one single player cinematic game that's going to come out? Is it going to be Batman again, or is it going to be Superman? Because obviously the Arkham collection was a pretty solid
It was
Batman series.
great.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it
I
was a
recently played
really
through the first one for the first time, Arkham Asylum. So I'm on to the next one here soon. But so far they're pretty good. But who's going to be someone in that's like not so well known that could potentially get it? Like maybe we get an Aquaman game. I don't know.
I don't so I would have to say like if they're pushing towards the game, it'll be somebody newer. But if I had to take a just a random guess, throw a dart at a dartboard and be like who's going to have the DC game,
Hmm.
uh I'm going to have to go with Flash.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
I'm
I
going to have to go with Flash. Yeah, cuz I feel like that would give you a more like your somewhat Spider-Man-esque
yeah.
feel. Um, and Spider-Man did. I mean, that was a fantastic game.
Oh yeah. I mean it's Marvel's
To
best
get
game.
that, yeah, yeah, to get that local feel where Flash is just doing his thing,
Yeah.
and you're just there for the moment in that small little brick of time. I think that would be. I think if they went with that, that would be the winner
Yeah, I'm
for
for it.
sure.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Moving on to our next topic here, we got Twitch. They announced that they are implementing, or they already have implemented, a new panic button basically, and it's called Shield Mode, and you can activate this whenever you want or turn it back off. And what it does is it's helped to combat hate raids that come through, for obviously anybody who's trying to hurt or promote hate and bad stuff about whether it's gay people, black people, whatever it is. And it basically what it can do is also prohibit any first time chatters. So anybody that's new first time, they can't just hop into your random ass stream and start talking about stupid stuff. So that's pretty cool. And you can turn it on and off just depending on like if people are done talking about that kind of stuff or not. So that's always nice to help combat that kind of stuff because obviously we know that that has been an issue for a while now.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a great feature. I think that's gonna make. I mean, it's it's gonna make the streams or the conversations that people are having, or it's gonna make them a lot safer. I think my only big fear would be that it might be abused for people that just don't want discourse. Which and that's the case. If it's your Twitch, if it's your stream, you don't want it, get rid of it. It's fine. 100%. People don't need to be doing that on your stream, on your chats, and everything like that. And I think that that's going to be a good starting point for people to understand that hey, this person doesn't want to have any discussion that might even lead to that.
yeah.
Um, and this isn't the place for it. This is a place for things like we're doing, things to talk about games, things to talk about movies. People just playing, A Plague Tale: Requiem Part Five, to just to go through and do that stuff without having to worry that something's going to do that, because there's so much more that goes into somebody just saying hateful or mean things into a chat. I mean, that's going to hit the stream, that's going to hit the streamer,
Right.
uh, and I think that's a good portion of protection that's gonna be there for the long haul and do some good work.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Twitch has actually come and brought us some good news because as of lately, it has not been good news from Twitch lately. So that was definitely great to hear. But moving on to our next segment of the show, we got our gaming news here. I think we got a decent amount of stuff going over here, and after that, we're gonna move on to our game awards. But returning to the World of Warcraft, Dragonflight. We forgot to cover this last week. Did release on the 28th, and so far it seems like it's doing really well. But Scott, I know you know it a little bit more. How's it been receiving so far?
So, as a massive How to Train Your Dragon fan, I love it. No, I think it's great. I think it's brought a lot of I would say freshness, but it's something that people have been kind of hoping for a while. And we all finally get it a little bit. And then now, like, your dragon is like your partner a little bit. So like when you change your look, it changes their look. I think it's definitely a new mechanic that is bringing some freshness to the World of Warcraft retail game.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, and you already know I'm playing classic. A lot of people are playing classic, uh, and to get that to even take me out and be like, you know what, I might just go ahead and buy retail. I might just go ahead and get everything up to it. I wasn't a big fan of Mist of Pandaria. Um, no matter how much I love Kung Fu Panda, um, but it was a Cataclysm was great. That brought it that brought another one. I think this is gonna be up there, uh, with Wrath or Burning Crusade as far as expansions go.
Hmm.
Just because of what it's bringing. I know there was some issues in the beginning with the I think it was the Bronze Drake that a lot of people were having some issues with, where like
Hmm.
people would get like a free Bronze Drake. I think they've handled that. I haven't seen so much about it since. Um, but once again, I think that's it's cool, it's fresh, it's bringing some new stuff, and that's what retail's gonna need. And they've continually they've done it time and time again, and I think that this is just the latest version of them doing it again
Yeah, for
and
sure.
keeping people there. Uh, so yeah, I want to get on it. I'm pushing for retail. I just as long as I can justify the time that I'm gonna spend in it.
Right. That's key.
I'm gonna push for retail just because of Dragonflight. I stopped shortly after Wrath, back in the day,
Hmm.
so I'm kind of trying to see if I can push that again. But yeah, this is just it's just some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just want some cool stuff,
Right.
and this is a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, sure is. I'm
It
looking at
really,
the
really is.
looking at their website here from obviously Blizzard and just seeing what it's really about. But the introduction of the Dragon Isles, that looks pretty cool. The new playable racing class looks pretty cool. So you basically play as like a mini dragon, more or less.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, it's like and once again, not to make Skyrim about it, but like a lot of people have brought in that whole born dragon can sort
hmm.
of deal to it, and that's kind of what they do a little bit with that new class. And I mean, still love it.
Yeah.
Still think it's awesome. Uh, I think it's been doing great.
Yeah, and then obviously you get the Flyer Dragon, which is pretty cool because I remember you used to have to go to like Flight Masters and fly to different cities, but it,
Yeah.
it seems like you can now just fly wherever you want, more or less.
So they changed it a bit with flying mounts. I want to say maybe like two expansions ago. So you do have flying mounts, um, but this expanded on that with
Okay,
your availability of being able to do wherever you need to go.
right. And then it looks like they got like a new talent system, professions and crafting got a redesign, and a new heads-up display interface has been introduced. New raid, new dungeons, of course, new level cap, which it says the ascend to new heights of power as you explore the Dragon Isles, earning new talents every step of the way to level 70. Did they bring the level cap
So
back down?
they reworked the level cap, and then from there, what they did is they push it so there's leveled areas now. So instead of like, oh, I'm level 12 to 15, I need to go here.
Hmm.
It's just wherever you go, it's leveled to you,
Okay.
which is also nice. And then as far I had heard throughout Hush Tones about the reworking of the level cap and bringing it back down. to try to make it a little bit more valuable per level.
Yeah.
Which is also nice because once you get to 60, oh, what's next? 70. After that, okay, new expansion 80, new expansion 90, 100, 110,
Yeah.
and then that's when they started kind of reworking the retail leveling system.
Right, because as I said earlier, my when I was playing Wrath of the Lynch King, I was up to like 77 or something like that, and I was like, I
Yeah.
had enough. And I think the level
Yep.
cap at that time was probably like 100.
I
I
think it
think.
was Wrath stopped at 80, and then after that you started hitting 90, and then it was basically 10
Yeah.
every time you got a new expansion. And I think they wanted to like we talked about earlier, just make it more valuable to have that extra level.
Right.
The time, the energy, the dedication into each level just makes that level more valuable to the player.
Right. Right.
So
Next up here, we got a Valorant update. Just something really quick. Chamber finally got nerfed. This has been pissing everybody off in the world of Valorant because he's just been overpowered. And he got his fire rate reduced by 57.5%, which is pretty huge. So no more fucking like with a sniper
mhm.
rifle that should have some time in between. His slowing size has been reduced to 30%, so whenever you kill or his trap would go off, there's a circle that slowed people down. That is a much smaller circle. The slow duration has also been reduced in time wise from 6 to 4 seconds, so that's nice. And then the slowing effect has been reduced percentage wise from 50 to 40%, so that also depends like your movement speed within that slowing effect. So that's been really nice. They've been slowly modifying him because at one time he used to have like two traps, and that was too much. And then his range on teleporters was too big, and then obviously now his gun and his slow traps are still an issue. But overall, it's really nice to see Valorant still getting some quality updates here.
See, I still haven't played Valorant that much since it came out.
Hmm.
I've seen you streaming things like that. But other than that, I have no dog in the Valorant fight. I haven't for a while, and I think it's just because I haven't actively avoided it.
Right.
I just haven't seen enough to where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hop into Valorant. If I'm not mistaken, I still have it downloaded. I just haven't gotten into it yet.
Right.
I think it's because when I finally get the time, it's like I just think I want to play something I know.
Right. Right.
Um,
Yeah, Valorant's definitely one of those tough games that you need to play for a long time to even have any enough competence or even skill to participate. Because like when I first started playing Valorant, I was so used to playing like Call of Duty and Fortnite and then more fast-paced call shooters, where like I couldn't move and shoot in this game. You have to stand still and shoot if you want to even hit anything, or just getting used
yeah.
to that playstyle is way different. So I used to have games like 4 and 20, 4 and 25, and now it's like more reversed half the time. But we're kind of falling off. We haven't really been playing Valorant enough because like Call of Duty has just been there. It's been more fun to play that in 10-minute matches or less versus Valorant. You're
Oh
sitting
yeah.
there for 45 minutes to an hour to play through one match, and you can't make any adjustments, any changes. You can only just move different parts of the map, and it's just not. It's just losing that fun.
Well, I think it's that that quick in and out that keeps Call of Duty ahead of Valorant.
Yeah.
And that with Valorant, like even if it's a better game, even if it's more playable, it's that those long drawn out matches that is really kind of hindering it a little bit.
Right.
Um, like that's one of the reasons I don't want to spend an hour in a game that I don't know and be forced to play something I don't know when I can just go in and just keep kind of
Mhm.
going in, see what works for me, things like that. That whole rinse and repeat method.
Right.
And I think that's been kind of part of what's turned me off for that. But I have heard some complaints about Chamber,
Yeah.
and I've heard some complaints about people that have been working on working Chamber, main in Chamber, and I mean at least we'll see how that goes. See how people like that.
Yeah. One good news though for Valorant this week is Split. The map Split is returning to ranked play. For some reason they did take it out when they introduced Fractured, and it just sucked because Split was a really good map, and then you added maps that were shitty. it was just pretty rough. So that's good news there. But moving on here, I don't know if you remember these movies from back in the day. I remember them because they were
You.
really good. But Starship Troopers is getting a game called Extermination, and it's being developed by Off-World Industries. They're known for games such as Squad, Scriptum, and Beyond the Wire. These are mainly like World War II at first-person shooter simulating games from back in the day. They weren't really that great, to be honest. So I've seen some of the gameplay and some screenshots from the Star Troopers game, and it looks promising. It has an interesting take because this is a 12-player PVE FPS. So you're going to play as one of three classes. You have assault, support, and defense. It's squad based and large scale battles versus the aliens from the movies that were obviously inspired from the 1997 movie. And this is supposed to come into Steam Early Access in 2023. You think this will be a game you could download and check out?
Yes, absolutely. I cannot. I can, when we had spoken about doing the show and we had you put me into the channel and things like that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna look and see what we're talking about. And I had seen Starship Troopers. I could not wait to talk about the Starship Troopers. This I love this movie. I love this movie. I love Starship Troopers, Starship Troopers 2.
Yeah.
It was great, and I cannot wait to go to Clendathu and do my part
Yeah.
because this is gonna be. I think even if there's issues or bugs, pun intended,
Pun intended.
uh, I think this is gonna be a fun game. I think it's gonna be a really really fun game. I think that the nostalgia factor is gonna play a huge part, and
Very
especially
much
the
so.
pop culture factor
Yeah.
is gonna be huge on that. Uh, I'm at this point I'm just curious why it took so long.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I think it's gonna be great. I'm definitely gonna play this game. I'm 100% gonna play it for sure. I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna do my part. And I can't say anything other than that because that's what I want to do. I see 2023 and I'm upset because we're not in 2023 yet, and I want to play this game.
Right, right. Yeah, look, I'm looking here for like other Starship games or Starship Trooper games, and there's one that was like a real-time strategy, which kind of makes sense for that style game.
Yeah.
But other than that, like they have like tabletop games like
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like not like an FPS style game, which just makes sense to do, and to me it
And
looks really.
The PVE makes perfect sense. Making this a PvP game, I mean, maybe later on, but like PvE makes perfect sense. Just round up with 12 with like 11 other people, get thrown into a game and just try to win.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this plays out. So like I wonder with it being 12 players and it's PvE, like are you one full team of 12 or is it two teams of 6, like, and you're just competing against each other, like who can kill the most or get the highest score or whatever?
Yeah, is it going to be waves?
Right,
Is it going
wave
to
base.
be things like that? I think there's a lot of things that once they drop that information is going to be it's going to make it a lot more exciting.
Yeah, so that'll be something on the lookout, especially if it's coming to early access next year. So I might have to check it out when it's in early access. It might be worth doing.
Yeah.
But talking about a game that's been around for a while, and we actually were talking about The Witcher here a little bit ago, but The Witcher 1 is getting a remake, and they did come out and confirm that this will be an open world game. I'm not too familiar with the original Witcher game, but if I'm not mistaken, the first one was not an open world game.
It was not. It was more your style of think older Lord of the Rings games where it's like you had the scenery, but you could only go up these stairs, or go up these stairs. It was very wide in the view. However, as far as your movement, it was very still kind of two
Linear.
dimensional. You could go here, and it kind of like drove you to where your objective was,
Hmm.
which makes the open world portion of this so exciting.
Yeah.
As far as the Witcher games go, the Witcher games they're already great.
Yeah.
The earlier series, like when you get to Witcher and then Assassin of Kings, like some expansions stuff like that, like there's some things that, obviously could always be worked just because at the time that was what it was. That's what we had.
Right.
Um, and I think open world is really gonna change
Yeah.
that outlook of the first Witcher.
Right. Obviously, we've
It's
seen the
gonna be
success
fantastic.
from
Yeah.
The Witcher 3, and that being an open world game.
Mhm.
That was actually a game I still have yet to play. I've never played a Witcher game, and I started The Witcher 3, and I got to the first beast that I kill, and then I was just like, there's just too much here for this game for me right now, and I don't have the time to invest in it because that game's gonna take forever to beat. But I may wait to play the third one now, even though we're getting the next gen upgrade of The Witcher 3 this month, I think, to play the first one and then progress through the storyline and see about playing it like that. But this is good news though to see that the Witcher is going to get a open world remake as opposed to just a upscaling of the original one.
Oh yeah, it's gay. I'm nothing but hope for that because it's gonna be good. Yeah.
Right, and obviously it's going to be riding the success from the TV show that has introduced that franchise to so many more people. Obviously, The Witcher is based off of books, if I'm not mistaken, first.
Yes. Yeah. So it was originally based off of, well, it was based off of books that was based off of the original writer would put in. I believe it was a newspaper.
Okay,
It was like a weekly read sort of thing,
yeah,
where they would put in stories, and so the first two books are actually just a combination of these stories. Actually, I might have. Yeah. So the first one was based off of The Last Wish,
okay,
which is just once again a collection of stories. And then the second one, which I believe was yeah, sort of Destiny. Those two were just the collective stories, and then after the third was they kind of started going with more storyline. At least that's my understanding of it after reading those and going through. Um, but I think it's going to be great for the Witcher franchise,
yeah.
which is going to be fantastic. Even if Liam Hemsworth is going to be our new Geralt,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for sure. But
I'm hopeful. I wish him the best.
CD
So I
Projekt
really
Red
do.
has a lot on their plate right now game wise because obviously they got the Witcher remake, the new Witcher trilogy that's on its way, and whatever other spin offs that they have in the works as well. But moving on to another game that that I played when it released, and it was my first time playing entry into the series. Far Cry 6 was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend checking that one out. But they have a new DLC coming out called Lost Between Worlds. It is coming out this week on the 6th, so in a couple of days here on Tuesday. And basically, Lost Between Worlds takes place in a fractured version of the game setting in Yara, and it continues Danny Rojo's stories. The Far Cry series is known for being over the top, and it looks like Lost Worlds will continue this trend. And it says following their exploration of a meteorite impact site, Danny will discover themselves in a twisted space between worlds, accompanied by a non-corporeal life form named Faye. Players will need to repair Faye's broken spacecraft by collecting 5 lost shards, each increasing Danny's overall stats for survivability, bringing them one step closer to escape. Read, and then that was from one of the descriptions of it, so it sounds pretty interesting. But that has like more of like a sci-fi, like out of this world take to the really humanoid, like human, real life um, play of it. Have you played Far Cry 6 yet?
So I don't think that this is too far off. If for anybody watching was an original Far Cry
Right.
player, um, it, things get weird.
Yeah, they do.
Things get weird. I played Far Cry 1 and then up to 3, and then I stopped for a bit, and then actually when I got my new video card, it came with Far Cry 6. I played that for a little bit. Um, that was definitely more human though, as you were saying. It was definitely a more human feel to it, which makes this a little bit more out of the norm
Right,
that
from
you
that
would
story,
think.
yeah.
And it's gonna be interesting. I don't think it's too far off the mark for a Far Cry game though.
Right. Especially with
Uh,
Far Cry
yeah.
6's other DLC that's already out. You play as like the 3 villains from older Far Cry games, but you're like playing in their minds because they're like crazy people, and it's really different and it's very out there. So this is definitely continuing that trend.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be fun. It's definitely it definitely gonna continue that trend of just the crazy kind of fun stuff that you can do and just see what
Hmm.
happens.
Yeah, it's actually making me wonder if I want to pick this up and check it out. I don't really play many DLCs for games in general, but the fact that I really, really enjoyed Far Cry 6, maybe I might want to return to this. I wasn't too much of a fan of checking out the three DLCs. They're old characters that I don't have any connection to because I've never played them, so I was just like, not really my thing. But this seems pretty cool. But oh, excuse me. Speaking about a game though that I might want to check out for DLC because of their upcoming game is Assassin's Creed. They're setting up the new release of Assassin's Creed Mirage with the release of a free DLC mission coming to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and a new quest is called Shared History, and this is where they introduce the character known as Roshan, which is going to be in the upcoming Mirage game. Roshan is the mentor of Basim, who is in Valhalla, but you play as Basim in Mirage, and Roshan is basically one of the master assassins at during this time period as well. And so it'll be pretty cool to see how that foreshadows and connects the worlds together as well. So I'm really looking forward to that, and it's actually available now, so I might have to go download and check that out ASAP. Have you checked out AC Valhalla yet?
I have not yet, and that's one of my shames is that I haven't gotten a chance to check that out yet. Because I've wanted to, and I just haven't found the time to like go get into that game and like really dig in.
Yeah.
Which is something that I've wanted to do because it does look good. I've heard mixed reviews, great, and I've
Hmm.
heard complaints about just kind of maybe like a rinse and repeat, just new settings.
Yeah.
But that's something I also want to find out for myself and see how I really feel about it.
Right. And
Uh,
I would say that it's not a rinse and repeat kind of thing because this game is probably the least Assassin's Creed of the Assassin's Creed games. You're playing as a brutal Viking, which you're not really being sneaky about anything. So you can
uh,
just go in two shields or two axes and just go and kill people
yeah.
at will. And it doesn't even matter. Where like older Assassin's Creed games, you were more stealthy and trying to be sneaky and escape and evade, which is what Mirage is going to return the roots to. But Valhalla, man, definitely something different. Have you played Origins or Odyssey either?
I played Origins.
Okay.
I did play Origins. That was a fantastic game. Once again, I mean, I've still yet to come across an Assassin's Creed game that I didn't enjoy.
Right.
But waiting to see what I can see of this one.
Yeah, Valhalla definitely recommend. That was actually my first next gen game I played on my Series X. I played it and reviewed it and whatnot, so highly recommend that. Go definitely go check that out. Moving on though, we got Overwatch 2 update. Season 2 releases this week on Tuesday.
Those seconds here. I think I there's an extra amount of noise going over here with my dog real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good, man.
Yeah.
You good? So we got a new Overwatch 2 season coming out. We got a new escort map, Shambali Monastery. Let me see if I can bring up a clip of this real quick so you guys can take a look at the road map as we got Scobeywan. He had to be right back here. So we'll see how this goes when I bring this up. Um, let's get the roadmap for you guys. I haven't really been playing too much of the Overwatch 2, but I definitely looking forward to it. So maybe giving it a chance now that they added um, aim assist to controller when you play in cross lobbies. That's been a big issue why I stopped playing it because it just became not not fair to me at all. So let me see if I can get this pulled up here for you folks. So as you can see here, this is the road map that we got going on here. We got a new escort map called Shambali Monastery. Looks pretty cool there. All new limited time mode coming on the 5th through the 19th. We got Battle for Olympus. Then we got returning limited time events. So on the 13th of this month, running through January 4th, we got Winter Wonderland. So it'll be a nice Christmas theme one. And then from the January 17th through February 6th, we got the Year of the Rabbit. So hopefully both of those events will be pretty cool and give you some unique rewards. And then got a new battle pass returning with 80 tiers of rewards. And if you get the premium battle pass, you get access to 60 premium tiers of rewards. You get an instant unlock of the new character Ramatra. all new Mythic Junker Queen. You get legendary and epic skins, and you get a 20% XP boost all season long, along with new cosmetics that are going to be released every week in the store. So be on the lookout for that, along with new Twitch drops. So that'll be pretty cool. Scott, did you play much of Overwatch 2 yet?
I have not yet. I wanted to ask you, have you played? Because is it worth like I played Overwatch for about a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Played it, had my fun, and I just wasn't sure about the Overwatch 2,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to see, you know, I haven't heard much from any of other people that have played it. Um, is it is it worth playing? Is it
Um,
still?
yeah, so I'm like you. I didn't really play much of the first one. That was a game that I kind of missed out on. I got it at the tail end of its life before Overwatch 2 dropped, and it's different. The fact that it's not like a shooter game per se, where like you can kill anybody. It's like really team tactical. Like
Yeah,
you got to work together.
yeah.
But Overwatch 2 is basically just a reskinned version of Overwatch 1, is what I've come to understand. But it is a lot of fun. But the problem that I was having that I didn't realize it until a couple of days of playing is I love to play with controller on my Xbox, and it has crossplay. And but if I'm playing in a crossplay lobby with a controller where people are playing with keyboard and mouse, my aim assist was turned off, and I didn't know that. And it you couldn't turn it back on when you were playing in those crossplay lobbies. So I was at a very unfair disadvantage where I couldn't hit anybody, and I was like, man, why am I like not playing that good? Like I know I'm good at this game. And they're like, you're playing on controller, right? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, you don't have aim assist, and I'm like, what? So I hopped into a lobby by myself where it was controller only and just dominated folks. I was just like, okay. I see the difference. I'm not playing with you guys because I need to be able to play with aim assist. But I guess recently they added aim assist back into crossplay,
Oh
except
yeah, it
but you
shouldn't have been gone in the first place because that's really gonna like it's really gonna damage somebody who plays controller on a PC, and then it's really gonna taint like their feel for the game.
right. But ever since they added it back, I have not hopped back into play yet. I do want to check it out here. Hopefully, with season two, maybe this will be my chance to hop back into it. It is a free to play game, so I mean, why not? It's always there
Oh
to
yeah.
play as well. So it's just really hard to balance with all my single player games and the amount of time that I have to invest into Call of Duty with my shoot to win team.
Yeah, and it's kind of that time to invest, which makes it hard to just get into those new games all the time.
Yes.
Like for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem with Valorant because we're only playing Valorant once a week on Mondays, and we missed out on last week. We decided to play some Call of Duty. Actually, played Warzone and some DMZ. But it's just hopping back and forth and trying to play the different play styles that are in each game is really hard to just refocus your mind on because you get so used to Call of Duty where it's like run and gun, fast paced, and then you try to do that in Valorant, you're like, I'm gonna get wrecked doing this. I'm never gonna get any kills. And Overwatch, you if you're a support player, you're not really gonna get a lot of kills. You're kind of helping the team out, so it's really different to balance those different play styles.
Yeah, and I think I was always comfortable playing a support. Like I was always comfortable playing like defense, like Reinhardt,
Hmm.
Mercy. I played, did a lot of damage as Reaper. Um, but yeah, like having to get into that niche and like if you're forced into it, it just doesn't. You don't want to play that way.
Right, right. Oh yeah, so I mean, in the end, I would still recommend at least checking out Overwatch 2. It is a fun game, especially if you're playing with some buddies and whatnot. I don't recommend playing it solo. It's not a game to be played solo, because that communication is going to be super important. Putting
Oh
putting
yeah, for
together a
sure.
plan and whatnot. But moving on here, we got some EA news as well. Medal of Honor, all of their game servers are being closed as of next year, which sucks, man. Because Medal of Honor was one of those franchises that was fun growing up playing. That was Call of Duty
I
before
was
Call of Duty.
that's RIP to a real one.
Yeah,
For sure. That was the one that paved the way.
yeah,
For a lot of the games that we have now. Um, it's sad. I guess it's time. but still, that's a sad thing, and it's good to see it that it's going out on its own terms, and it's not like trying to push out new games that nobody wants to play, things like that, because that would be just terrible.
Right.
It's nice to see they're just calling it. They're gonna move on. All those teams are gonna move on to bigger and better things,
Hopefully.
and go from there. I mean, they're gonna have that on the resume, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be skies up from there.
Yeah.
So
But speaking about EA's other shooter is their Battlefield franchise because they have two franchises that could go hand in hand really well, I think. Um, but Battlefield 2042 got some confirmation on their Season 5 update that's not coming out till next year. You're going to get a new specialist, a new map that is returning from Battlefield 4. Not sure exactly which map just yet, but that'll be cool. Because I guess more seasons moving forward, they're going to be pulling content from older games to put into their 2042 game. So hopefully it works out. I still play Battlefield 2042 from time to time, especially now that it's on Game Pass. I mean, I've already bought it, spent $100 on the game, but it is on
yeah,
Game Pass, so anybody who wants to check it out or return back to it and not have to pay for it, it's there. But you are getting new hardware, new battle pass, and apparently much more coming season 5. So that'll probably be one of their bigger updates because seasons 1 through 3 haven't been that big, and 4 I think is not that big either. Um, so we'll see. Maybe they can combine the Medal of Honor and Battlefield teams and maybe make a
that would
solid
be
shooter.
nice. Yeah, that would be nice. Get us a good time authentic shooter.
Yeah,
Uh, I think that's something that the world's kind of lacking right now.
yeah, for sure.
That I think that they can definitely work on together. That's gonna really bring a lot to the table. So if they even do.
Right. I doubt it, but well, that's just wishful thinking.
Yeah, it's a high doubt, but you know what? It is Christmas time. Maybe we get an ask from Santa and
Yeah.
see what these guys do
Right.
with their future and see what they got going on, because I think whatever they decide to do is going to be awesome.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
for
it
sure.
really is. The
Uh,
dedication and detail that they've shown throughout their career doing Medal of Honor series is going to be awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with Battlefield 2042 is that it didn't have a story mode at all, and that would have been a perfect timeline to have a story mode. But Medal of Honor, they could have just used their team to make a story for Battlefield 2042, and then that would have been perfect. But
Yeah, there were some hit marks. There were some sorry, missed marks
yeah,
on that for sure, where they definitely could have collaborated and done something to give us, you know, a lot of people want the multiplayer. That's great. We all want multiplayer, but like you still want that story that you can go and do yourself and get a great story out of it and get excellent like gameplay. And I think that would have been awesome if they would have at least worked together to do it, or like got with each other.
yeah.
So yeah.
It sucks, but hopefully we could see Battlefield get a nice redemption arc. But on to our
Oh
next
yeah.
topic here. PlayStation had a couple things in their news. First off, we got Gran Turismo 7, which is their most recent simulation racing game. Developer Polyphony Digital says they are looking to bring the series to the PC. So just adding to the long list of PlayStation exclusives that they're trying to get over to the PC, which is to me and Lunatic Oblivion always talk about it, and it's just pretty funny how PlayStation is finally understanding that PC is the way to go and trying to get their content over there. You're going to reach a much bigger audience.
Yeah, it's definitely PC Master Race. It's definitely the way to go for if you want, especially with how high the demand is on a lot of the graphics that these games are putting out.
Yeah.
That's gonna be, and I think Gran Turismo has always looked amazing.
Mhm.
It really, really has. Even with like it, and I think what they're looking to do at this point is maybe stretch that technology a little further, see what they can do, and I think bringing it to PC is going to help them do that, which is huge for them. Gran Turismo was the first racing game I played, that and like Need for Speed, like
Yeah.
back when it was like Hot Pursuit, Hot Pursuit 2, like things like that.
Yeah.
And I think that bringing it to PC is going to be huge for them and let them kind of really stretch their legs as far as what they can do graphically and as far as processing goes.
Yeah.
So that's going to be sweet.
Yeah, it does look like if they do bring it to PC, they're looking to aim to have like a locked like 4K 60 FPS and not have something to go up and down. They want to make sure they keep that solid 60 FPS frame rate. It's just the issue of they still can't even make their game run this in with ray tracing, which is what Forza Horizon 5 can do. They can run at 4K 60 and have ray tracing on it, but I guess PlayStation still can't keep up with Xbox in that sense.
I don't think it can, and if the game can do it but the console can't, the answer is to move away from the console.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's unfortunate. This I don't knock PlayStation ever. That was one of the first game stations I ever had.
Yeah,
Uh, I've been largely Xbox and then PC, but at this point, if the console can't do it, I mean it's 4K. It's not. I mean, it's not something to just like stifle at.
right.
And when it comes to ray tracing, it really comes into the hardware and what the hardware can and can't do. And that's no blame to PlayStation, but if they can't handle it or they can't do it, then it's time to move on. It's time to try to open up to, like they want to do, like PC,
Yeah,
and try to get out there to somebody who can handle that. Especially now with all the options that PC has with the keyboard, mouse, controller. I mean, entire people build entire uh like racing simulators around
yeah,
their PC.
right, right,
And I mean, for those die-hard Turismo fans, that's it's gonna be huge.
right,
It's gonna be
right.
huge.
Yeah, exactly.
So they can go do that,
Right,
which is
and
gonna be great.
right, and we can't forget they got a Gran Turismo movie or TV show in the works as well, which is an interesting idea, interesting concept.
It is, yeah.
So we'll see if that can help bolster the series, and maybe they can release it on PC around the same time that the movie or show comes out.
Mhm.
But some more news in PlayStation. They did announce that PlayStation Plus is getting some more game trials, so you'll be able to check out Ghostwire Tokyo, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, and Sniper Elite 5 via like time trials on PlayStation Plus, which are you have to have the subscription to try the demos, which is interesting because Xbox you don't need any subscription to check out demos, other than I guess have access to Gold more or less.
Yeah, I think it kind of counts as its own subscription, but still, there's nothing above that you need. So I think
Right.
it's kind of.
Yeah, and I think this is actually locked behind the top tier. I think to get to the game demos, so it's like PlayStation Plus, then Essentials, and then Premium or whatever, and you have to have like the very top. But in regards to Essentials, they are getting a some pretty nice additions to the lineup. We're getting Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Biomutant, and DKO Divine Knockout, which is a game that we talked about earlier. That's a game that's coming out this week. So Mass Effect Legendary Edition, that's the culmination of Mass Effect 1 through 3, just remastered, remade, I guess you would say. And that's how actually I've been playing Mass Effect. I never played Mass Effect ever until I played the Legendary Edition, and I beat 1 and 2, and it's a phenomenal game on there. I like
The
it.
entire series, it's regardless of any gripes, the entire series was great. Absolutely. I think Biomutant's gonna be fun for anybody who hasn't played that.
Yeah, I really enjoy
Uh,
Biomutant. I played and reviewed
yeah,
that, and that was a lot
Biomutant's
of fun.
gonna be a big and fun, gonna be a big fun one. Divine Knockout, once again, still solid game. I mean, it's kind of, I feel bad. It's like that movie that's getting put out, up against like Batman and then like an Iron Man or a Marvel movie. You
Right.
know, it's good. It doesn't mean that the game's bad, but compared, you put it up to Biomutant and Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition. I mean, it's gonna do a little bit of paling in comparison, especially even just with Mass Effect.
Right.
Um, but super happy for those that haven't played it that are going to see this and get a chance to, because that's gonna be awesome for them, especially as first time players. When I played it the first time around, it was phenomenal.
Right.
It
Right.
was it was it was one of those memorable games that you're not gonna forget. 100%. And you know what? If that's coming out and people that haven't played it yet, or even if just people have heard about it, and they're like, oh, cool, Mass Effect, and they're gonna hop into something that's really gonna like kind of knock their pants off and get into a really good world of gameplay there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
good
For
for
sure.
them.
Yeah, especially with the new Mass Effect game right around the corner. Hopefully, it's much better than Andromeda. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But
Yeah.
on to the other side here of gaming, we got some Xbox news. Speaking of Forza Horizon 5, they got two new upcoming seasons, or they call them series. Series 15 will be in December. It's called Forza Holidays. It'll be holiday themed, obviously here, and you got the return of Secret Santa, which allows you to gift cars at like a little bit easier, and there's more of a goal here because there's a community goal where you can gift cars in the barn locations that you can find, and if the community reaches 50% of the goal, you'll get a holiday tree outfit, which is okay, cool. But this one here is that if you go 100% this community goal, you get a new Forza vehicle, or it's new to Forza, but it was actually kind of like revealed by Forza accidentally, and it's the 2020 Lamborghini Sian Roadster. So that's pretty awesome to see that coming. So hopefully the community can work together and get that goal completed. But they do got some new cars coming as well in this update. You get the 1958 Plymouth Fury, 1970 AMC Rebel the Machine, 1971 AMC Javelin AMX. You got the 2013 Cadillac XTS Limousine, which is interesting. Then we got the 2020 Lamborghini Sian Roadster, which I just mentioned. And then we got the 2021 Cupra Urban Rebel Concept. And this will actually be gifted to all players on December 8th. So in about 4 days here, you'll get a free car from Playground Games. So that's pretty cool. Have you played Forza Horizon 5 yet?
I have not. I have not played a Forza game in a long time.
You're
That's
missing out.
just. Yeah, and you know what? I continually hear that I'm missing out. And that's one of those things that I would like to rectify.
Hmm.
Just because I haven't played a racing game in so long. Um, and especially now being exclusively like PC, I just like, I don't feel like, oh, a keyboard and mouse. I mean, I have my Xbox controller, it's right here.
Right.
I just I haven't. I think the last time I used that was for Elden Ring, uh, because PC and because keyboard and mouse hurt. Uh, yeah, I haven't in a while, but it's great to see that they're still going and they're still pushing so hard and they're still doing a lot of great things for the gaming, the racing game community that they have been. Other than that, I don't have the dog in that fight. I feel terrible because I know that they put out great games. I've played Forza before, and I know that those are good games.
Yeah.
I just haven't stuck with them as I would have liked to.
Yeah, with Forza Horizon 5, it's like the most beautiful racing game I've ever played. It's set in Mexico, so it's vibrant. It's vast different biomes that you're driving through, and it's just an overall fun game, honestly. And I actually played and beat every single race in the game already, so there's not much for me to do other than I guess collect cars at that point. But I'm not doing that. They're actually struggling with an issue with that because the auction house was being abused. Like all of the rich people were doing this mission to get infinite amount of money, then buying up all the cards on the auction house, and then reselling them at a very high price where the average consumer could not buy them anymore. So they had to take off the auction house, and they're reworking that right now. So we'll see how that goes. But
I'm no stranger to broken economies in video games.
yeah, World of Warcraft for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that'll do it for sure.
But next up for Forza, they did announce their event for January called Forza I don't know how to say it.
Forzathon, I think it
Forzathon. Yeah,
was.
there we go.
Yeah, they put out,
It's a Ford themed event. Unfortunately, there's no new Ford vehicles coming to the game
which
this
is
event.
weird.
Right, and as you can see here
Which
in
is
the notes,
so weird.
it was one of those I was like, it's a head scratcher. Like,
Yeah, like
how do you not have any new Ford vehicles you can add to the Ford event?
no.
Otherwise, you should just wait. But overall, though, the every challenge race and event does have a Ford featured vehicle. But there are new cars coming during this time as well. You'll get the 2010 Renault Clio RS, the 2010 Renault Megane RS 250, the 2016 Renault Clio RS 16 Concept, the 2020 MG MG6 X Power number 20, and the 2021 MG MG6 X Power. I have never even heard of any of these cars, to be honest with
Yeah, same. Same. When I was looking through, I was like, oh, okay, like that's still weird. They don't have Ford vehicles for this entire Forzathon, but okay, we get 3 Renaults and 2 MGs. I got that. That's great.
Yeah,
Where's
so
the forwards?
so that's interesting. So if you guys are big Forza fans, be sure to check them out over the next 2 months. But in regards to Xbox's services, December Games of Gold was announced, and they're not really big, huge like AAA games, but they are pretty solid games that we're getting. First off, we're getting Colt Canyon that came out on the first, and it's good until the December 31st. And there's just a little description. Colt Canyon is a 2D pixel art shooter where you control a cowboy or one of the many other unlockable characters whose mission is to save his kidnapped partner from the ruthless bandits. This got a 9 out of 10 on IGN, and it has very positive reviews on Steam with a 92%. So overall, it is a pretty solid game. I don't know if I'll check it out, but it's free, so I'm going to claim it as mine and just throw it into my collection there. But we are also getting Bladed Fury on the 16th through January 15th. Bladed Fury is a classic 2D action game based on the Chinese mythology with an accompanying traditional art style and sound design, but with a dash of surrealism added to the mix, featuring a fluid combat experience, a high octane combo system, and a plethora of ancient enemies and gods to destroy. So that sounds pretty dope, if you ask me.
I
This
have played Bladed Fury.
You have.
It is worth it,
It is worth it.
especially for free. Especially for free, you
Right.
can't beat.
Right.
It's super fun. I love once again the 2D action games. It's very fun. It's very like they had said. The mechanics are fluid. You get your combos, you get everything like that. It gives you everything you want in that 2D experience, and it is great. So, and
Right.
the storyline, like their little like lore portion of it with like
Yeah.
like the Chinese zodiacs or like the Chinese mythology, like things like that. It's really good. I am a fan of that one. I will put myself out there for that one for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I'll have to check it out. This got a 9 out of 10 on Steam with very positive reviews at a 86%, and this also got a 4.5 star or 4 and like 4.1 I think it was on Google Play, so it got some pretty solid reviews at some different locations there. So definitely have to check out Bladed Fury out of the two. But Game Pass editions coming this December. The first couple of them here are already out. So we've got Eastward coming to all console, cloud, and PC is out now. The Walking Dead: The Final Season out now. Totally Reliable Delivery Service came to PC on the third, I think it was yesterday. But a couple of them here that has me excited is first off we got Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga coming to cloud, console, and PC on the 6th on Tuesday. This has been a game that I wanted to check out, given that I am a huge Star Wars fan, and I know you are, given your name, obviously Scobeywan. And I haven't played a Lego game in so long, but I heard a lot of great things about this one. So it's coming to Game
It's
Pass. I'm
it's
checking it out.
fun. They still nail storyline time after time when it comes to any of their Lego Star Wars, so which is weird to say, right?
Right.
But no, it's great. It's fun. It's easy. It's geared towards players that require something easier.
Yeah.
Uh, but there's still so much story that you can get for people that just enjoy the story, and
Right.
that's any Lego Star Wars is always going to be a 10 out of 10 in my book because they just they every time it's a hit. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's easy, and
Yeah.
you still get a lot out of it.
Right. I'm glad I just don't have to buy this game. This will be a game that I get to check out for free, given
Yeah.
my Game Pass subscription.
Yep.
So I'm really excited for that one. Hello Neighbor 2, we talked about this earlier. Is also coming to Game Pass. Chained Echoes, we also talked about earlier, coming to Game Pass on the 8th. Metal Hellsinger was actually a game that I played and reviewed and actually uploaded my playthrough on the Shoot to Win's YouTube channel. But this is getting its Xbox One release to Game Pass. It was already on Game Pass for cloud, console, and PC except for the Xbox One. So now you'll be able to check it out over there. Have you checked out that game at all or seen my playthroughs?
Not. I
So
have not. I was looking through your playthroughs a little bit, but I have not got a chance to do it myself, which is unfortunate because it does look fun.
yeah, it's that rhythmic shooter, FPS shooter, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. Definitely recommend it. That is coming on the 8th, and then we got, man, one of the most anticipated games of the year is High on Life, coming to cloud, console, and PC on the 13th. This is from the creators of Rick and Morty, where the guns are talking to you. They're like alien-like, and it's just goofy and crazy, and it's aliens, and I'm for it. This is my game. I need this.
Yeah, the pseudo fourth wall breaks
Right.
all of the time is gonna be fantastic and bring an entire new piece to your normal shooters that you don't get anywhere else. And I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be super enjoyable. It's gonna be fun for the whole family.
Right.
No, I think it's
I
gonna be
don't
great.
think
I think
so.
it's gonna be, yeah, 100% enjoyable. Not for the whole family,
Yeah.
but definitely for the player. It's gonna be fun for
Yeah.
sure. It kind of gives me first Borderland vibes,
Yeah. I can see it.
where I'm kind of getting, there's like there's some slapstick in there and like a little bit of like things that are made just for you, the player.
Yeah.
So I
So
think it's gonna be good.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that, and that is coming out on the 13th. So next week, Potion Craft coming to console and PC also on the 13th, and we got Rainbow Billy: The Curse of Leviathan, cloud console and PC on the 15th. So pretty solid lineup, and this is only the first half of December releases. They always do another update with more games coming, so I'm really excited to see what else they got for the rest of the year. That's going to come to Game Pass, but we are losing about 11 games on the 15th. We got Aliens Fireteam Elite leaving, Breathage, Dragon Quest 11 Echoes of the Elusive Age, Firewatch, Lake, One Piece, Pirate Warriors 4, Neoverse, Race with Ryan, Record of Lotus War, Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. That's a terrible fucking name.
that's a
Rory,
lot.
yeah, that's just
That's
too
a lot.
much. Rory McElroy PGA Tour. That's fine because we already got the new one that just came out with Tiger
Yeah,
Woods.
it's already out there. Yeah.
And then we got Transformers Battlegrounds. Okay, that's fine. We're not really losing much. I mean, outside of I guess Aliens Fireteam Elite. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, do that. That game really pissed me off because I have yet to play it right, but I bought it when it went on sale, like super cheap, and I grabbed it. And then they were like, "Hey, it's coming to Game Pass," and I was like, "Fuck me!" And then like now it's
It's just
leaving
like
Game Pass.
absolutely after you get it, and it's like, yeah, well, guess I'll go fuck myself.
Yeah,
Like, I see.
but
I get upset when it's like I see a Dragon Quest title, and I'm just like, we're not we're not losing much when
right,
we could. I feel that there's an alternate universe where like that is the title to play,
right.
and I get upset.
Yeah, I heard a lot of good things though with Dragon Quest XI. I know Lunatic played it, and a bunch of guys from the Lunacy Arts Discord have played it as well. Um, but other news in regards to Game Pass, we were just talking about a little bit about racing games, but Need for Speed Unbound just released on the second, and this game looks fucking phenomenal. Like I really want to check it out, and I did not know that there's an early access trial via EA Play that'll allow me to play for like 4 hours or something like that, and
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna go download it and play it because
I don't
have you
blame.
seen it? Have you seen the gameplay for it?
I've seen some of the gameplay for it. Uh, Huge Need for Speed fan.
Yes.
Back in the day, like it was one of the, well, it was Gran Turismo and Need for Speed. That's what it was.
Yep.
That's why I'm kind of excited to when we talk about Gran Turismo 7 and now with this Need for Speed Unbound. Uh, it's kind of like, hey, they're getting their catch up. They're getting their comeuppance, and seeing the Need for Speed out here, that definitely brings a little bit of happiness to my heart, and I'm excited to see just if that, maybe that's the game that we need for Need for Speed to be just
Back in
another one of the penultimate racing games.
right.
I'm hoping for it. It looks phenomenal. I'm probably gonna go out and see what I can do about getting an EA Play,
Right. Well,
just so
EA
I can
plays
hop
part of
on
Game
it.
Pass Ultimate, so you'll be able to check it out for free for a couple hours and then make the decision if you want to buy it. But I'm sure this game will come to EA Play officially later on, just like Battlefield 2042 did and all their other games. But yeah, that's awesome. But other news: Monster Hunter Rise, which was a Switch exclusive and apparently a timed exclusive, is coming to Game Pass next month, or yeah, next month on the 20th. And excuse me, it's coming to cloud console and PC. But interesting enough, it's also coming to PS4 and the PS5 as well. So I wanted to throw that out there. I own Monster Hunter World, never played it, never played a Monster Hunter game, but I know Rise is doing really well. And so for this to come to the rest of the platform, rest of the gaming industry, is that's big news there.
It's huge. It's huge for both the players that want to play it that don't have the Switch, and for Monster Hunter itself. To get out there and get into that. area where normally, it's one of those things like, yeah, we're doing a Switch exclusive. Like that's really nice for Switch players. That's great for Switch players because it gives us who play Switch like, yeah, we get this game. That's like, PlayStation God of War, or like when exclusives are that. However, the not so silver lining of that is when you do a console exclusive, uh, there's a lot of people that want to play your game and
Yeah,
they
they can't.
can't
Right.
because they have to buy a Switch or they have to buy a PlayStation or they have to buy an
Right.
Xbox. And this is awesome news for both parties involved
Right.
because Monster Hunter games are awesome.
Yeah.
They are fun. They're great. And seeing this come to the Game Pass and then coming to the PlayStation market is gonna be it's awesome. I have nothing but joy for this entire release
Right.
because of that. Because there's so many people that want to play it, but they don't want to go spend 250 on a Switch just to play Monster Hunter.
Right. Right.
And then there's so much there's it's definitely going to open the door for more Monster Hunter releases in the future that maybe won't be exclusive.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
hopefully.
will get maybe will be cross-platform, which is going to open their doors exponentially.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's great because that's something that the teams behind the Monster Hunter series deserve.
Right. Right.
Which is going to be it's great. I can't say enough about how happy I am to see this come to the cross-platform area.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great news. Really excited to see Monster Hunter Rise come to all platforms. But that is all of our gaming news, rumors, leaks. There wasn't any rumors this week. We were going to cover some of the Game Awards nominees, but we are running out of time here. So we'll be covering that on Thursday, which I'll go over that information here soon. So we want to thank everyone who did check us out live today on Twitch and anyone who checks us out later on YouTube. But where can the viewers find you at, Scott?
So mainly I just kind of hang out on my Facebook, which is Scott Roby. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. That's Scobeywan, just how you see right there. And then I do occasionally, from time to time, hop on the Twitch. I haven't streamed in a really, really long time, but kind of looking to get back into that. Once again, you can find me right there at that Scoby One. And then if you can't find me any other time, you can definitely find me on a Sunday hanging out here with my boy Vic.
Yes, sir. Definitely want to check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin underscore. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. You want to party up, maybe play some Call of Duty and get wrecked? Just hit me up on there. Facebook is Vic Brubacher. Question concerns, make sure you hit me up there. And of course, I'm streaming over at my personal Twitch Monday through Friday from starting at 6 o'clock from my or not 6 o'clock on Monday through Friday, I guess. Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. for Call of Duty. Wednesday through Friday for single player games at 6 p.m. So be sure you come through on that. But we definitely want to send out a reminder to come check us out on this Thursday live at 7 p.m. as we're going to do live coverage of the 2022 Game Awards. That's where we'll break down all the nominees, do a tier list, and break down what we think should win the awards and whatnot. And then we'll do a live coverage of the Game Awards, which is about a 3 hour show. And of course, I think we're going to get Scobeywan returning here, so you don't want to miss out that. But we want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.
Hang out. Have a good night, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and just going through all of the good old video game stuff with us. Appreciate you guys. Maybe I'll see you guys Thursday. If not, I'll see you guys on any given Sunday.
Yes, sir.
So.